Hey, I'm Joe Bob Briggs, and you're watching Halloween Year Round.
Hi, I'm Dave, founder of Halloween Year Round. I'm joined by my lovely future wife, Jess, coming up very soon. And it's prom season.
And I'm on this side.
So we decided to wear our very best that we could at 5:30 in the morning and talk about the Prom Night franchise, which you were very excited to do a deep dive into, right?
I was?
Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
She's like, we have to watch 5 movies. Why?
Right.
No, so, you liked them.
No, some of them.
Some of them, and that's what we're gonna get into.
But this upcoming Dead Talk, I'm very excited for because I only have to watch one.
Well, we'll get to that. No spoilers.
No spoilers.
Yet. So we are gonna get into the Prom Night franchise, kind of going through the whole thing. I'm gonna link it. I'm gonna put a link in the description of my rankings of it, an article that I just did for the blog. But first, as always, we go to David S. Not Pumpkins with Horror in the News. How's it hanging? I'm David S. Not Pumpkins, and this is Horror in the News. So here are this week's top stories. Blumhouse released a poster for the new upcoming James Wan-produced creepy doll movie Megan. And that's okay, I didn't need to sleep tonight. It is set to be released Friday the 13th of January, and hopefully James Wan once again delivers on a creepy doll movie, as he did with, of course, Saw, and the very criminally underrated Dead Silence. We also got a really cool and creepy trailer for A24's Bodies, 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 said to be kind of like a Gen Z slumber party massacre-esque slasher comedy starring Pete Davidson. Trailer looks kind of cool. We will see. I'm a fan of Pete Davidson's comedy. I'm not sure how he's going to do in a slasher movie, but time will tell. We also have a new horror movie coming out soon with Christina Ricci called Monstrous, premiering in theaters and video on demand May 13th. Also a Friday the 13th, same day as Universal's Firestarter. So we're going to have 2 really cool horror movies coming out that day. In the wake of everyone hating Morbius, Sony has attempted to distract us by announcing sequels to Ghostbusters Afterlife, as well as Venom 3. And in all seriousness, kind of knew the Ghostbusters Afterlife one was coming, that, that movie was really trying to jumpstart it for the next generation and would kind of lead to a sequel. We'll see how it goes. I'm kind of on the fence. Ghostbusters Afterlife was brilliant. I loved it. It was fan service done right, but maybe it was better with that being a send-off and not trying to start anything new. So this sequel will kind of be the test to see if it was a good idea to do that. As far as Venom 3 goes, give me more Tom Hardy as Venom, and that's just a rule of everything. And in Warner Brothers news, they have officially announced that the Conjuring series will be continuing with a sequel to The Nun. It is going to feature screenwriter Akilah Cooper, who wrote Malignant, as well as director Michael Chavez, who did the previous 2 Conjuring universe movies, The Curse of La Llorona, as well as The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It. So, I'll be honest, The Nun was probably my least favorite Conjuring universe movie. I hope it's good. I'm not really sure where they're going with this franchise. They may be done with Conjuring movies, which I always felt were the best part of it. And I don't know. I haven't always been that big a fan of the spin-offs. And it seems that they're kind of going more with the spin-offs. But, as always, every movie deserves a chance. And, we'll see where it goes. And finally, Disney has announced they will be releasing a remake or reboot of The Haunted Mansion, set to debut March 10th, 2023. It will not feature Eddie Murphy. It will be something totally new and hopefully better than that 2003 movie. Well, that's unfair. that movie was exactly what it was trying to be. I just think that it wasn't. I'd love to see a Haunted Mansion movie done kind of creepy and properly. Or if you're going to do it with a sense of humor, a wittier sense of humor. Now, for those who saw the Muppets Haunted Mansion, that's how it's done. So, we will be back next week. That's it this week for Horror in the News. Back to you, Other Dave. Thank you, David, not as Pumpkins. What a very cool suit and not derivative of any other act at all. So, Prom Night series, I feel like as far as slasher franchises go, Prom Night doesn't really... It's not up there with Halloween. It's not up there with Scream. Like, it gets overlooked. And I think part of it is...
Well, that's for a reason.
I mean, you're just being savage. Yes, it's for a reason.
Obviously.
But I think part of it is, you know how those other ones, like The Killer Keeps Coming Back?
Yeah.
There's not really any common killer with Prom Night.
Yes, huh? Well, the first.
Okay, so Mary Lou...
And then the third one.
Mary Lou is in 2 and 3. But
Yeah.
other than that, there is no, like, recurring character, so it doesn't really allow the series to kind of build itself a brand.
Okay,
I think that's part of the
Yeah.
issue. And yes, you know, it has its ups and downs, you know, but after watching all of them, I did find a kind of really interesting, and we'll kind of touch on this a little bit later in more detail. I found a really interesting theme that they are kind of all about the same thing. They all kind of are about something from the past coming back to bite you. Like some trauma of the past.
I suppose that you could, you know, stretch your imagination to say that.
No, I'm serious. Like, so let's start with the first one from 1980. This is a fun one because it's got
A fun one?
well, not as fun as the second one.
The first one was
It's got Jamie Lee Curtis. It's got Leslie Nielsen. Good cast. It's a pre-airplane Leslie Nielsen back when he was still like doing serious dramatic roles, and he plays it seriously and dramatically, which was a little weird for me because I kept waiting for him to like say something ridiculous, but that's only because I'm so familiar with him from his like Airplane, Naked Gun, Wrongfully Accused. Yeah, the Naked Gun.
It's like 5:30.
It's 5:30 in the morning, and she's.
I'm a little delusional.
I apologize.
Don't mind me.
Jess is a little delirious, which is only going to make this video more fun. So, I mean, it has a cool opening. The whole "killers are coming, killers are coming" with the little creepy little kids.
Yeah.
Kids are creepy.
We have so long ago that we saw that one.
We have 2 of them.
At this point,
and they're creepy.
I don't remember that.
So, you say the first Prom Night is boring.
I didn't say boring. I was like, it doesn't do anything for me.
It's a decent, like, it's a whodunit.
Yeah.
It's still the early days of slashers. They're all basically still copying the Halloween formula. I mean, literally, it has Jamie Lee Curtis, and it's between Halloween and Halloween 2 for her. So... yeah, it's not really doing anything that groundbreaking.
No.
It is kind of slower paced. It focuses more on the kind of murder mystery aspect, like who is the killer, and then, you know, spoiler alert, you come to find the killer. It had to do with that kid that they killed in the opening scene.
Yes.
Years earlier. But again, that's playing into that theme of this series is about the past coming back. And it's almost like the prom, you know, for those lucky enough to get dates, unlike me. No, I went to my senior prom. I didn't go to my junior prom because I had gone through a breakup and I was still really upset about it. And I was like, I'm not going to the prom. Which in hindsight was not petty at all. So... that was me at 17. Pretty much. It was my first breakup. So
I'm sorry, I'm tired.
Anyways, like prom is supposed to be like the highlight of
like high school.
You know, they say that graduation is for the parents, but prom really is for like the teenagers. Like it's their moment to kind of dress up, you know, to have a what they used to call a night out on the town. So it's interesting to me that the Prom Night series kind of takes that and subverts it with, oh, this is the happiest moment. Here's something terrible from the past coming back to get you.
It's gonna kill you.
And that's a theme that, like I said, kind of goes through the whole series. So the first one is a decent first step, but in the grand scheme of things, it really has no connection to any of the other movies. If anything,
really.
You know, Prom Night 2 kind of is a starting point for like other sequels, but you can't not acknowledge it. Yes, it's slower paced. Yes, it's not the best of the early 80s slashers, but it is there. Leslie Nielsen's good in it. Jamie Lee Curtis, great as always. It is a very competently made, genuinely creepy, at least in the beginning, movie that just got outdone by a lot with its first sequel. Which brings us to my personal favorite. I think everybody's personal favorite. Hello, Mary Lou, Prom Night 2. So this movie...
So is that going to be number 1 on the ranking?
Well, don't tell them.
This was a ranking video.
There's a link to it in the description.
Wait.
Yes, we're going to do the rankings at the end.
Okay. You told me this was a ranking video.
I tell her a lot of things.
That's what I was prepared for.
So Prom Night 2. If you took Carrie and The Exorcist and the first Prom Night movie and threw in just a little dash of like Evil Dead into a blender, you would get Hello, Mary Lou, Prom Night 2.
Okay.
Like, you can definitely... There are scenes in it where you're like, oh, this...
oh my gosh, yeah. It's just like Carrie.
Parts of it are, but I like that one, it goes full supernatural with, like, Mary Lou coming back as a vengeful spirit.
Okay, yeah.
2, it has a sense of humor the first one didn't. It kind of knows... And again, we're going from 1980 to 1987. In 1980... everyone was just trying to... Slashers were still relatively new. They were trying to make a name for themselves. In 1987, slashers had kind of gotten to the point of almost self-parody. You know, we're not that far off at this. In 87, we are not far away from, you know, Freddy's Dead, The Final Nightmare, and we're not too far away from...
Freddy's Dead.
Yeah, which is a lot of people's least favorite Freddy movie. They're gonna think you're on something. She's not on anything. I swear. It's like Dead Talk hosted by me and the Joker. So, sweetie, what did you like about Prom Night 2?
It was actually good.
What was good about it?
I don't know. It's 5:30.
Did you like the kills?
I don't know.
Did you like Mary Lou?
Yeah. She was kind of cool.
I think she's almost like a...
She was a slut.
Well, that's the whole thing, is she is very much slut-shamed from the beginning, and she kind of comes back and kills all the men who shamed her.
Is that what she does?
Yeah, you might argue that it's a very...
Oh, yeah, that is what she does.
Like it kind of flips the whole sex equals death trope in movies, where it's like, she literally becomes the killer because of that. And at the beginning, she is killed for that. Like, literally, you know, she's burned alive, which, you know, isn't that far off.
Wasn't that an accident, though?
It was an accident, but in a weird poetic way, it's almost like she's killed in the same manner as, like, the Catholic Church killed people in the Middle Ages for sinning. And she kind of embodies that vengeance. Plus, she's a funny character. She's got a lot of personality. She's definitely better in the second one than in the third one, which we'll get to. I think most people like the second one as their favorite. I love Wendy Lyon's great in it. Michael Ironside as the principal. And it's
Why did I like the second one?
because it was actually entertaining and funny.
That's it?
Yeah.
That doesn't seem like a very good reason.
Yeah, it is.
Oh.
Of course it is.
But I feel like I should say why it was entertaining.
Well, why did you find it
I don't
entertaining?
know. I don't remember.
Okay, she doesn't remember.
We watched it so long ago. Now.
So, the third one. Prom Night 3, The Last Kiss. Which they recast Mary Lou. She is in it, but she's different.
She's recast it.
And this one almost plays like a weird romantic comedy, except she's a serial killer.
That one.
Like
they're like a couple.
Yeah, so she's dating the guy, but she keeps killing people, and he's like, you gotta stop killing, and like they bicker about her killing people with the same like nonchalant attitude as if like, honey, I wish you wouldn't do this as much. Like, I wish...
Yeah, well, I wish you wouldn't do that as much.
I wish you wouldn't leave the fridge open. Or, I wish you wouldn't do that.
You know what?
But she's...
I wish you wouldn't drink so many Cokes.
So, that's how they're bickering, but she's literally murdering people.
Yes.
And
he's just like, oh, come on, just stop.
Like, come on,
please.
honey, just... You said last time was the last time. You said that was the last person you were going to kill.
And you killed another one.
This one also, the third and fourth movie looked like they were shot on like a camcorder. Like the production quality really goes down.
Yeah.
It is not...
They probably weren't getting enough views to make a good movie again, like after the second one. Well, like, the problem is, like, if you have a series of movies, if the first one's not that good, nobody's going to see the second one. And then you lost your budget.
Well,
so
I
think
think
might as well just give up.
I think it's less about how good it is and more about will someone at least rent it. And at the time, you did have a very big home video market. So you know in the late 80s, early 90s, you do have a whole market for just very cheap, low budget movies that are never intended to be big theatrical hits. As long as they make a profit through rentals, they're good.
Right.
And I think which I believe the later ones did get a theatrical release, but it was a very limited one, and they were mostly made for home video. That's kind of what you get with Prom Night 3 and 4. 3, though, is at least entertaining in the sense that, like, it's this weird, almost John Waters-inspired, romantic horror comedy about, like, oh, he's the high school quarterback. She's a serial killer. Watch them have hijinks together. Plus, it has probably my favorite character from any Prom Night movie, the principal at the very beginning, who's like, welcome back to Hamilton High. We've rebuilt the gym. Yeah, we had students disappear. Yeah, this gym burned down and a bunch of people die. But you know what? We're good now. And
everything's fine.
He's talking like a PR person, and he's just trying to sweep under the rug that, like, literally a bunch of people died. And he's like, yeah, it was kind of weird that students were disappearing, but hey, it's all good now.
We rebuilt it.
And then literally, like he gets his fingers chopped off right there. Yeah. So,
That's really not fine.
It just... No,
it's just a delusion.
I think that, it was at the very beginning of the movie, and it kind of perfectly set the tone that this is going to, like, Hello, Mary Lou definitely is a slasher movie. It is a horror movie with a sense of humor. Mm-hmm. I would say it is horror first, comedy second. Prom Night 3 kind of goes full, it's a comedy first, horror kind of second.
Yes.
So we interrupt this video to talk to you about a vengeful priest who murders teenagers for sinning. Oh, wait, no. We're talking about Prom Night 4, the movie that doesn't
Oh.
feel like a prom night
I was
movie
like, what?
in any way, shape,
Oh
or form.
yeah, that was like random.
Prom Night 4, Deliver Us from Evil, opens with the same prom night that Mary Lou died in 57, but apparently that same night
There was other murders. That
Yeah,
were happening at the same
this
time.
priest caught these teens having sex in a car and like set it on fire. So it's weird that like no one addressed that murder happened too that night.
I think they just like made it up.
Well,
They were just like, here, well, let's throw this at the wind so we can have a fourth movie.
I almost feel like, and this has happened before, especially with horror movies, I would not be surprised if the script for the fourth movie started as its own movie and the studio was just like, make it a Prom Night sequel. Because literally, like, it's...
Because that's a name now that has been developed.
Yeah, it's brand recognition. It's a franchise people will know. It doesn't even really take place at the prom. Like, it's after the prom. They go back to that house, and it's just kind of your typical slasher.
Yeah.
The fact that the killer is this, like, weird, draconian priest who is all gung-ho for sinners in the hands of an angry, vengeful god.
Don't have sex.
It's a cool concept. It's just like, what's this doing in a prom night movie, and what does this have anything to do? Like, it does still fit the theme of, like, the past coming back, because, again, you have that 30-year jump, and he's been, locked up in priest jail, which,
yeah,
as we've learned, when a priest does something they shouldn't do,
apparently
the church does not call the authorities. They just kind of handle it internally. So this guy murders 2 teenagers, and they're like, oh, he's in this monastery, just in this room. Well, did you call the police? No, we've just kind of been watching him for 30 years. And then, he got out.
Weird. It's kind of weird.
They like to... it's kind of like how the Vatican is its own country. They like to handle things internally.
I mean, I get that. But it's just kind of weird. He was basically like in a dungeon.
Pretty much. Which I guess is probably worse than prison. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, the fourth one it's okay. Like, so spoiler alert, it's gonna probably, on my ranking, I think the fourth one's gonna be in last place just because it does not feel like a prom night movie at all.
Not at all.
But it wasn't that much of a chore to get through. Emphasis on chore. Which then, of course, brings us, nearly 20 years later, after that one, you get the remake in 2008, which I remember when this one came out. This was actually the first prom night movie that I saw, because I was working at Suncoast back in 2008, and I think I rented it. And this one, what to say about the 2008 version?
I don't know, I fell asleep while we were watching it.
She fell asleep during it. Great cast, love Brittany Snow, love Idris Elba. It's definitely the biggest budgeted of the prom night movies. It looks the best. It looks the most professional. It has the best lighting. It has the best production design. It has the best cinematography. Like, all that stuff is on par. It is very well made. But it's a hollow, empty shell.
Yeah.
It came out at an era when horror remakes were all the rage, and it just doesn't... So you have Brittany Snow, who, like, her teacher was obsessed with her and, like, murdered her family. We don't ever see that. We just, like, see the opening scene where, like, her family gets murdered. And the killer is supposed to be this teacher who's obsessed with her. That's kind of a creepy backstory. Why do we get none... Like, why does it jump right to him killing them, and then prom night, 3 years later, it almost feels like a watered down version of 2006 remake of Black Christmas, where it's like, this guy is obsessed with you, he's in an asylum, he escapes, and we find all that out just because of Idris Elba expositioning it hard to the audience. Well, to another character, but it's for the audience. I don't like the fact that it's PG-13. I know there's, yes, you can have good PG-13 horror movies. This is not one of them. This is one that wants to have the shock value and brutality of an R rating, but goes for PG-13 so it can expand its box office. So it feels like the remake was, at the time, it had everything that was wrong with horror movies in the mid-2000s. It represents the worst of it rather than the best of it. So, that's it. I will put my rankings up here. They're also linked to the description if you want more details about it. So
read the article.
How did you feel now having watched all the Prom Night movies? Did it make you think of your own prom? Was your own prom dangerous like these ones? Did anyone get murdered?
No, nobody got murdered. I did actually go through a breakup, just like you.
Except you weren't all mad and self-pity.
So it was like a week before prom, and I was like, you're still gonna take me to the prom.
That doesn't sound like you at all.
Because it was like a week before. What was I supposed to do? Replace him?
So he still took you to prom?
Yes.
Well, that was nice.
And we still did have a good time.
But you were still broken up.
But we still were...
Like he was still like this breakup is still final.
Yeah.
Was it awkward at all?
A little bit, because he was like flirting with one of my friends a little bit, and I was like,
okay.
I know we're broken up, but like I'm still not cool with that.
Very fresh wound.
Yeah, like literally a week before prom.
Wow.
But at his prom, we both went home with a different person. So that worked out. So,
before we close out, I do want to get to this week's physical media lineup. So now we will go to Patrick with Movies from the Crypt.
Oh, I can't wait to see the newest episode of The Last Drive-In with Joe Bob Briggs and Darcy the Mail Girl. It's going to be so epic. It's going to be so awesome. It's going to be so... Oh! Hello there, you horror hounds and media monsters out there. It is I, Patrick, your friendly neighborhood movie keeper, here to give you some tasty, awesome physical digs as we unearth them on Movies from the Crypt. Like my poster, we featured it earlier in our last episode. On Joe Bob Briggs, so definitely check that out if you haven't. But for now, though, I got some awesome physical media, some wonderful horror movies to showcase for you in this episode of Movies from the Crypt. So, up first, remember I said earlier about Doctor Strange, the 1978 made-for-television film. Well, it turns out that the release date was not in July. Instead, it was this past week for the 26th of April. So it's available right now. And demand's been very high for that. So definitely go out and check it out before it too gets disappeared in the multiverse of madness. We also have Watchers 2, which officially has been released as well from Shout Factory, and hopefully you picked up your copy, and if not, well, you still got some time. But remember, a limited run of 1,500 copies. Up in May? We from Mondo Macabro USA. We have The Horrible Sexy Vampire, The Other Side of the Mirror, and Love Brides of the Blood Mummy. Is it coming up for release? No official date yet, but it will be coming out in May, so it should be really cool to check out. Oh, this one's a very special one, and personally a favorite of mine. From 1997, distributed by Discotech Media, Darkstalkers, the complete OVA collection. Personal favorite of mine. I love a good Universal mashup is a game from Capcom, especially when you have with awesome kung fu werewolves, beautiful and succulous succubi, Frankenstein's monsters that really know how to bump off the competition. Another crazy sorts. in this awesome anime from the good people at Capcom. Coming out on May 31st of 2022. First time on Blu-ray, so definitely check it out. We also have All About Evil from 2010 being distributed by Servin Films. Official date is not confirmed other than June, so be sure to keep your eyes peeled for that one. We also have Horror Noir from 2021 being released from Shudder officially on Blu-ray for the first time, coming out on June 28th. So definitely give that as a check. We also have The Terror Circus from 1974. Yes, the legendary Terror Circus returns to Blu-ray. The legendary Terror Circus returns on July 12th. So pitch up your tent, get your popcorn ready, and thrill, scream in terror, and enjoy the terror of the Terror Circus. Also from 2021, from Arrow Films, we have The Righteous coming out on July 18th. And also on July 18th, also from Arrow Films, is the 1989 horror film, Hell High. And from 2021, another Arrow release is coming out on July the 19th, is The Sacred Spirit. Very unique mummy inspired romp, so always good to know, especially for those who have been tuning into Moon Knight. Ooh. We have something very special coming out on the 26th of July you horror hounds and media monsters out there. The Giallo Essentials Black Edition, in which it will have 3 various films: Smile Before Death from 1972, The Weapon, The Hour, The Motive from 1972, and The Killer Reserved 9 Seats from 1974. Wow, very a nice selection of Italian horror films coming out in this lovely Black Edition collection. So definitely jump on that when you have the chance. So go over the Arrow Films. Speaking of other, and of course from earlier with our anime featured, we got another one with Castlevania, the complete season 4, being released by Viz Media, coming out on July 19th of this year. And definitely a favorite of mine. I loved Castlevania, the animated series on Netflix. Very fun, very energetic, and very true to the original as a spirit of the games. And beautiful as animation too. Oh, gorgeous! Especially when you see those monsters getting whipped and slayed by Richter Belmont. Cool stuff. Definitely check it out. And ooh, this is a fun one from Scream Factory from 1995. Species. And for the first time on 4K. This was a very interesting one, and one that I'm definitely happy to hear is coming out. So thank you guys at Scream Factory for giving us a 4K release. We also have from 1982 being released from Synapse is Dario Argento's Tenebrae. This will be the 40th anniversary release of the titular film, with a beautiful 4K restoration for the effort, coming to you on July the 26th. And we also have a wonderful classic from 1971 being released from KL Studio Classics. My man Rod Serling, Night Gallery Season 2, coming out on the 26th of July. And very excited for this one. I love his original Twilight Zone. And Night Gallery is also a very fun romp for all you horror enthusiasts out there and those who love the supernatural. We also have a fun one, Suburban Sasquatch, being released from the distributor of Visual Ven Video. Try to say that 3 times fast. This 2004 Sasquatch as a creature feature is coming out in August, coming out on Blu-ray with new commentary from the director making of, and this is interesting. Oh wow! It also includes the riff tracks version of the film itself. Oh, that's so much fun! I mean, how rare is that for a movie to actually include that too? Seriously, all you distributors out there, definitely include a Rip Tracks version of it. I'd love to see it. Because you know me, I don't just as I love watching a movie, I love watching it several times. We also have All the Souls Except the Dead from 1977 being distributed from 88 Films, coming out this September 12th. So be sure to give that a watch. We also have Messiah of Evil, currently coming soon. A teaser has been spotted in the wild for this, and more information is coming down the pipeline, so we'll definitely be sure to continue to dig it up. I'll definitely let one of my skeletal interns. Hey, Jack, make sure to keep an eye on that one. He's good like that. We also have House on the Edge of the Park. One of the older video nasties from 1980. Being distributed by 88 Films, also coming soon to a video collection near you. We also have Dracula vs. Frankenstein being distributed by Saravan Films, also coming soon as well. However, though, this one has a limited run of 70 copies. Ooh, wow, that's a very limited number. So keep an eye out on Saravan Films there, and be sure to pick up this little horror gem. Also, we've been keeping you informed of Saravan Films' recently restored Faceless. It is still coming out later in the year. I know it is going to be featured at one of the larger horror conventions out there. I believe it is that one from Texas, one of the largest in the world. So that is very awesome, and we hope to be able to continue to cover that as well. And what we also like to cover is Beware My Brethren from 1972. Being distributed from 88 Films, also coming soon as well. Trailer for that looked very interesting. Very is a grunge 70s grindhouse-esque. Always fun. Is always a fun time when I loved seeing one of those various grindhouse films. And up for our final on my report is Killer's Moon from 1978, also being distributed from 88 Films. Is it coming soon to a video collection near you? So that's it for me. That's it for me today, all you lovely horror hounds, you media monsters, out there. So I just want to thank you all so much for coming out. Hopefully you enjoyed the last drive-in, and as I'm going to kick back, relax, and enjoy a nice rest. It's been a long week, so thank you very much. Remember to continue to watch horror films, keep America strong, and back to you, my friend.
Thank you, Patrick. Anything else to say about the Prom Night movies?
They're all right.
Just all right. It's not the best slasher
Rob Zombie's
franchise.
Halloween is better.
You say that about everything, darling. So we will be back next week to talk about the MCU's first official horror movie, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Be sure to check out the blog this week. I'm going to be doing some stuff to prep for that. I'm going to be doing some Sam Raimi articles, so be on the lookout for that. Check back next week. Like, share, subscribe, all the YouTube stuff. If you don't, you may get killed by Mary Lou in a hilarious manner, but one that still ends in, regardless of your age.
Yeah. You're just going to go back in time to prom.
And, thanks for watching. Thank you for coming to our Dead Talk. And, as always, I'm Dave. Stay scared, and every day
it's Halloween.
Ooh.